What is going on, guys? Can a female leopard gecko lay 2 times in 1 year? Stick around for this video and we're gonna find out. Selling in the billions each year, Rainbow Mealworms is your one-stop shop for all your insect needs. Their quality feeders and A+ customer service keep me coming back to support the health and growth of all of our animals. Visit them today at rainbowmealworms.net to place your order. Alright guys, now this is my sweet female girl that I actually got from another breeder earlier this year. He had told me that she was done breeding for the season, which means that she was breeding earlier this year in 2021, but as soon as she got to our location here, almost immediately, a week or two after, I started to notice ovulations in her. And so of course I paired her and she went on to have another full season. And this is why it's good to keep records. So let me check her records real quick and see just how many eggs she laid. I got her in July of 2021. And about a week or two later, she started ovulating again. So we bred her and she started laying eggs. She laid for us 12 eggs from July until her very last clutch in October. So July, August, September, October, she laid for us a full season of 4 months after laying for her last owner whatever months he bred her in 2021. So pretty cool stuff. She is our first specimen of conversation for today. Now this next girl is my personal favorite because she is the Tangerine mama that started it all for us. I picked her for her awesome, fully saturated orange color, no pattern, nothing. She's just completely orange. And then the male that I picked for her had purple, green, orange, and black hues to him, but he was still a very nice tangerine. And so I paired them two together and I got a nice mix of tangerine, emerine, lavender, bold crosses. And that was basically what fathered our entire tangerine collection over here. And they're all revolving around the Tremper and the Eclipse gene as well. So there's many different variations that they can express. Let me look up this girl's data. So she started breeding in November of last year, which is earlier than the year that she started breeding for me the year prior. The year prior, she started breeding for me in December. Then she started breeding the next year in November. So you have to keep an eye on your girl's cycle because it can fluctuate and change a little bit. But the main thing that you want to look for are ovulations. That lets you know when your girl is ready to breed for that season. So her last season was November of 2020 and she stopped laying in March of 2021. So that's November to December, January, February, March. Again, 4 months. You can see the trend. These girls tend, if they are fully sexually mature, a full season for them will be about 3 to 4 months. That could always be shorter depending on the female's age, whether she's really young or whether she's really old, or whether she just has a really short year. But in general, leopard geckos are gonna lay for 4 months. The question is, how long of a break do they take before laying again? And this video will help answer that for you. Starting with this girl. So she stopped laying in March and I caught her ovulating again in September. So what is that? March to April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months later. She only took a 6-month break and then started ovulating again. And now she's back to laying eggs. And she's a great female and we have an excellent male that we're pairing her with this year that's different than any of the years prior, which is really gonna ramp up our tangerine production. So really excited about that. I keep all of our documents on Google Docs and I have a video in the past that shows you all the information you could document with your females so that you can keep track of their cycles, keep track of when they're laying, know when they're gonna lay next so you know when to open their tub 2 weeks later. Check out that video. I give you a free copyable spreadsheet that you could use in your collection. It's the exact same spreadsheet that we use over here right now. So 6-month break and then started laying again. So technically she was laying January through March of this year and now she's laying October through December of this year. So she's laying 2 times within the same year with a little bit of overlap around the New Year's times. Alright, so this is the infamous Jelly Bean. For those of you who are fans, we have some fans of Jelly Bean. She is a Tangerine Eclipse, 100% het for Tremper albino, and even though she's yellow, she creates some of the most orange babies. Now, why is that? because the eclipse gene washes out orange. But if she breeds with a gecko that is not eclipse, or her babies only pop out het eclipse, those babies will be just as orange as her mom, which we just showed in the very last clip. That super orange gecko was her mom, and she is producing some fire orange stuff. All right, I couldn't not show her baby for a second. This is one of her babies, and the orange is actually getting washed out by this white light that I'm using to film, but you can see just how orange her baby is here compared to the mom. And you can even see it as a red spot on the back of his neck. That's pure red. That is crazy. And I've seen that with a couple of my Tangerine leopard geckos this year. So ideally, that's the way that the Tangerine leopard gecko started. In theory, from what I've heard, is they found like orange spots on geckos, and they started breeding those geckos together, and then bam, created an all orange gecko after many years of selective breeding. What if we could do the same with a red dot? Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. But you can see the extreme saturation of orange on this girl. And again, she's getting washed out by the white light. But I'm telling you, in person, she is like fire orange. The main thing I want to show you is how much more orange she is than her mom. And the reason for that is she's only het eclipse and the mom is visual eclipse. Visual eclipse takes away color saturation from the gecko. Now, she also started ovulating at the same time that her mom did in 2020, November of 2020. Jellybean also laid her last clutch in February of 2021, and she laid a whopping 14 eggs as a first-year female, and 12 of them were good. So in general, first-year females will ovulate shorter. They won't have as many ovulations, and they won't have as many fertile babies, but everything is up to chance. Sometimes chance is gonna favor you, other times chance is not gonna favor you. In her case, chance definitely favored us. 14 eggs, 12 good babies, and all of them are staying here for breeders, because you saw what she produced in that last gecko that I showed you. And that last gecko is like 3 times less saturated on camera than it actually is in person. It's crazy. So anyway, getting back to her times, she stopped laying in February and started laying again in September. So that's February to March, April, May, June, July, August, September. She took a 7-month break. So her mom took a 6-month break, she took a 7th-month break, and is now starting over again. So we're seeing a little bit of a trend here. 6-month break, 7th-month break. Let's look at one more gecko and see the break that she took. Okay, this was actually my most anticipated female to go into breeding for 2021. And unfortunately, as a first-year female, she did not have such a good year. She laid about 11 eggs, 3 of those hatched. One of those babies cut itself open and died during early stages of shedding, which is just crazy, but it can happen. We have 2 of her other babies left that were both incubated to be male. She is the most orange female that we currently have in our collection. She's the oldest most orange female. Last year, I named her Fuega. She has these 2 bright red stripes going down the middle of her back, and you can see she has a nice solid orange tone to her, some green blushing on the top of her head, and again, the camera is cutting out about 2 to 3 times her saturation level, meaning that she's actually 2 to 3 times more orange in person than she is on camera because of this white ring light. It's very hard to capture tangerine colors on photographs. So Fuega actually started breeding in December of last year. So December 2020. So she laid about 11 eggs, and her last lay date was recorded at the end of March. So December to January, February, March. About 3 months, about 3.5 months, which is still a great season for a first-year girl. It's just unfortunate that only 3 out of those 11 eggs turned out to be fertile. Now, that wasn't for lack of trying. I tried to repair her a couple times, and still those 7 or 8 eggs turned out to be infertile. So sometimes you get what you get. This was the most anticipated girl of the year, and sometimes that's just what you have to be patient with in reptile breeding. But look how red that tail is. That tail is like red. And so our goal with her is to breed her to more red and red geckos so that we can produce a red line over here. Beautiful. There are times when you can catch a glimmer of her saturation, but then it's quickly dissipated by the white light. So let's see when she started laying again this year. Also September. It looks like all 3 of these girls, which are granddaughter, daughter, and mom, all started to ovulate again in September. So from March to April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months again. So we see this trend of about a 6th to 7th month break for our females before they start going into ovulation again, which technically means they're breeding 2 times in a year because they're finishing in March, they're starting in September, and at the beginning and at the end of each year, you're catching about 3 months. Look at this beauty right here. Nice green blushing on her head. That was selectively why I chose her dad, to bring in some extra colors that the mom didn't have. The mom was pure orange, the dad was orange, green, and purple, and black, and I was like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna create some multicolored geckos. All right, now he's going into shed, but this is Magma, our most saturated orangey red gecko, and we are breeding him to about 100 tangerines over the next 12 months. And so I can only imagine what kind of fire this guy is gonna produce. If you want a little bit of a prequel, go onto our Instagram and look at one of the most recent baby pictures that I posted. Most high quality tangerines that hatch out of the egg come out yellow and then turn orange over time. His babies, which he fathered by the first girl in this video, 2 babies have already hatched. Both of them came out orange on day 1. Not yellow, they came out orange. And so I can only imagine how much more orange they're gonna get. Magma is going to be the future of Geeky Gecko Creations tangerines. Look at that saturation, it's just beautiful. And again, the camera, 2 to 3 times less than an actual person. You can't really appreciate him as much on film. Well, thank you again very much, guys. You know I love ending these types of videos with geckos on my head. Now that we have this new setup where I have the camera, the light shining at me, I don't have to worry about increasing the brightness when I edit the videos. It's great. I can just edit. What did you think about this video? Do you have any other video topics that you would like to recommend? Drop a comment below. Thank you so much for your participation with us. It's really helping this channel grow. We're at almost 3,000 subscribers now in just 1 year. That is pretty amazing, guys. He's looking at you over here. He's congratulating you guys. So I thank you guys for coming along with me in this journey once again. I look forward to making the next video for you guys. I got plenty of topics that I want to cover, but please, I get my topics from you guys recommending them. Drop a topic in the comments below, and I'm definitely going to write it down as a topic that I can cover. Oh, he fell to my shoulder. There, you can kind of see how red he is now against this red shirt. Look at that, that's crazy. Anyway, me and Magma say thank you guys very much. We're signing off for now. We'll see you in the next video. But until then, have a geeky gecko great day. Peace.